Hello and welcome to BQ Prime. I'm at the Defense Expo 2022 and my guest today is Baba Kalyani, who is the chairman of Kalyani Group. Mr. Kalyani, thank you very much for joining us on BQ Prime. My first question to you is, when we met in 2020, you said that we are on the verge of creating our own industrial complex. Are we there?
Oh, we are 100% there, at least in the land system business, which is the main focus of our defense business, not the only focus, but the main focus. We are there. I think we are now, I would say, one of the most advanced land system equipment manufacturer in the world. And our target, even that time I had said that in artillery, by 2030, we will be the largest on this planet. And I think we will be there maybe much before 2030.
A lot of policy changes have happened in the last few years. How has that all culminated into, the Indian industry, coming together to achieve what you call Atmanirbhar or self-reliance as far as weapon systems are concerned?
I think, the Honorable Prime Minister has given this country and its citizens and its industry a direction. That whole direction is that you need to build a modern India. You need to build an India that is Atmanirbhar, that is self-reliant. You need to build an India that is technologically advanced. So, there's a whole set of directions that the Prime Minister has given to us. and a lot of us, me included, we take this quite seriously and we work on it. And what I'm seeing is it's not just to build something like this. You need a large number of people, engineers, and people working on this, and they all have to be equally motivated. More than motivation, I think their whole emotional quotient has to be connected with the country. India was a great country 500 years ago. It's time to make it great again, and that is the whole concept of the Honorable Prime Minister saying, let's move in that direction and let's bring the Amrit Kal in. So India at 100, 2047 will be that country again. And what is missing is these little bits and pieces of technology that we never looked at. I mean, private sector was not allowed to be in defense. Let's put it that way. Till 2016, 2017. That is only 9 years ago. Okay? And in 9 years, the advances we have made in this area is just simply amazing. We can hold our shoulder to shoulder with anybody in the world. Matter of fact, people are amazed when the French come and see our products in our company, or even the Americans come, other people, they're simply amazed. How can you do it? How do you did this yourself? That's the kind of question they ask.
That brings to us a big important question about exports, and you've been targeting exports a lot at Kalyani Group. How are exports looking for you? Because if you look at the total exports for the industry, it was somewhere around 12,000 odd crores last year. How do you see export market opening up for India?
Even in the exports area, there is a big push from the government, from the Honorable Prime Minister himself, the Defense Minister, the Defense Secretary, the whole MOD. And they've been having regular interactions with industry and all our defense attaches that are there in various embassies that change your thought process. Defense attaches were earlier placed in embassies for imports. Find products, modern products, and send it to the services here, and then they figure out what they want. Now it's the other way around. Now they have become our export arm, industry's export arm. All industry in India, private, public, everybody. So they have completely reversed their roles because of policy. And we have, fortunately for us, we have this window which got created because of the Russia-Ukraine conflict, where a land-based industrial war is taking place. Nobody thought that you're going to have a land-based industrial war in 2022. Everybody is looking at cyber war and UAVs flying and something else, unmanned systems, etc. This is not that. This is pretty much war with men and machines like World War II. And in this war, which has lasted now more than 250 days, so much of ammunition, so much of equipment, so much of tanks, guns, whatever you want to call it, has got used and destroyed that nobody has any more inventories of this stuff, usable inventories. So everybody is in a frantic buy situation. Now, this frantic buy situation is leading to smaller countries to say that who depended on the larger countries to supply in case of emergencies, that they don't have capacities. So India is in a sweet spot. We are just about building our own capability in terms of equipment, which is fully indigenous, fully indigenously designed and manufactured. And there's a demand in the world that is coming up. I leave the US aside and I leave the 3 or 4 big powers aside, but everybody needs military equipment. I mean, if you want peace, be prepared for war. We used to be taught that when we were in school. I mean, it's pretty much a lesson that everybody has learned in this conflict. So somebody might want 10 guns, somebody may want 40 guns, somebody may want 20 guns. They may not want thousands. But all put together, it's a big number. And I think this is going to be India's, I would say, decade, when India's military industry, and along with the military industry, its SMEs, MSMEs, its industrial complexes that support the military industry in high technology will get built up.
Sir, I know the Kalyani Group has been building capacity over the last few decades, actually. One decade. And you started off with the Kargil and now here. But do you see the other companies being ready to, take to leverage this opportunity which is there?
The big difference between us and everybody else that I see, there are some of them now doing what we are doing. We from day one had decided that whatever we do, we will build on our technology and our strength. That's why we don't have too many, we don't go in the basis that I will get somebody's license and, bid for it and then play around with this 50% indigenous content formula. God knows whether I make the barrel or don't make the barrel doesn't make a difference. Now, if you're a gun manufacturer and you don't make a barrel, what kind of a gun manufacturer are you? Are you making fabrication? A dime a dozen SMEs who make fabrication. So this mindset of trying to get an order using the system in place is a different mindset compared to saying we need to be Atmanirbhar, we need to be self-reliant, we need to make our country strong, we need to follow our Honorable Prime Minister's directives. And those are right directives. India cannot become strong. See, how did the US become an industrial power? It was World War II when US produced so much of weapons for France and Germany. I mean, in 4 years, they make 380,000 aircrafts. They made some 100 submarines. They made 1 million tanks. And that's how America's industrial power got built. They converted automobile factories into defense factories. I've talked about it many times in Delhi. And I think we don't have that situation because we don't have a world war right now. But I think there are enough conflicts in the world that have created a sense of urgency in many nations, small and big, to say that we need to equip ourselves to defend ourselves.
Sir, what about the domestic opportunity? The government created a ban list. Is that opening up a lot of opportunity for you?
Domestic opportunities are large. That's opening up. You can see our M4 has become a hit in the army. I mean, that's an amazing vehicle. We started 2 years ago as an emergency purchase system. We sent it to Galwan when that Galwan crisis took place. It's very unfortunate that it was mentioned again yesterday by the other side in their parliamentary discussions. But yeah, it's a fantastic vehicle. And we are not a vehicle manufacturer, but we were able to design and build something like that.
You see opportunities, a big opportunity coming in because the government is also talking about 86,000 crores of capital expenditure, of which 25% will come to private sector.
I think more than that will come. The issue is, okay, today there is a distinction between private sector, public sector, because private sector was not there, public sector was there. So there is some distinction. Okay. In another 3-4 years, that distinction will disappear because it will depend on who is capable of doing what. So if there is a company who is capable of innovating and creating technologies on their own, which are much more advanced than the West, where is the question of public sector, private sector? And that is the direction we are heading.
Sir, I know we've spoken many times, and you have said that because we have only one customer in India, we have.
Nature of this business.
Exactly. Do you have now a better visibility of orders flow compared to maybe 5 years ago?
Absolutely. For two reasons. Even in our traditional business of auto components, all right, if you look at in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and post 90s, after liberalization of Narsimha Rao and Manmohan Singh, when they opened up the country, both for imports as well as for exports and investments, we changed our strategy from being a Indian company supplying only to Indian customers. We said we need to be a global company, supply to global customers. And at that time, in the early 90s, we said at least let's be among the top 5 in this game. Because before that, we had 4 customers in India. That's it. We had Tata Motors, Ashok Leyland, Mahindra, and one more. 4 customers. Because there was nobody else making vehicles, automobiles in those days. I mean, today, we are almost world number 1 in our traditional business. We supply to everybody around the world, whether it's North America, South America, Europe, Japan. We used to even supply into China, but now, because of whatever geopolitical issues, we don't supply into China, we don't supply into Russia. But the same thing will happen with this. We will become an exporting nation. Export is not any one country's monopoly. For example, if you look at this is not the gun, but we have another gun which is DRDO in the DRDO stall, the 8x8 mounted gun. Actually, most of the guns will now move from towed guns to mounted guns, because mounted guns have much better maneuverability, much better survivability in there. You see that gun? Guns like that are made by French company Nexter. They are made by US companies. They are made by Rheinmetall, for example. They are made by Bofors in Sweden. Okay, it's called Archer. Now these guys are able to make 20 guns a year, 15 to 20 guns a year. Now all those 15 to 20 guns have gone, apart from what reserves they need to keep, have all gone to Ukraine. So their capacity to produce this product is extremely limited. We are setting up a capacity to make 300 guns a year, the largest capacity on this planet. So obviously, it's with exports in mind.
What is the kind of capex you have planned for next 5 years?
We don't need capex here because we have already invested in this. We already have a large. Yeah, we have to put some buildings for space, but small capex.
Mr. Kalani, it was a pleasure talking to you today. Thank you very much for joining on BQ Prime. Thank you.